covalent bonding. So we talked about ionic previously, now we're talking about covalent. So what do we know about covalent bonds? Or covalent compounds?
Well, we've learned so far that they are two nonmetals.
Right. Two nonmetals bonding together, okay? So your ionic was a metal with a nonmetal. Covalent is two nonmetals, okay? So they do react and behave a little bit differently. Instead of there being a very clear give and take for your ionics, covalents like to share.
Oh, that's nice.
I know, they're friendly. They like a buddy. Okay, so they're sharing. And depending on how electronegative they are, is how well they share. So if they share equally, like say they're twins, right? Same element, then they're going to share equally, really good at sharing, and they're going to be what we call nonpolar. So they don't have a charge on either side that's any greater than the other. But if it would be like you and me, you're probably going to get a little more than I do.
You think so?
You know, you're quite a bit taller.
Oh, maybe.
So if we were tugging, it would favor you a little bit more. Okay, so that's how a polar bond works. They have slightly different charges, kind of like on a magnet you have a positive and a negatively charged end. Okay, so that would be a polar covalent bond. So we do have some characteristics of covalent bonds. We know that covalent bonds have pretty low melting points, pretty low boiling points.
Okay.
Sugar is a covalent bond. So we can...
Yeah, and we didn't we have our lab? We got to melt the two,
Yes,
right?
we did. We got to melt the two. And so you saw that sugar does in fact melt. If you've ever caramelized sugar on top of creme brulee.
Creme brulee.
There you go. We know that sugar actually does melt. Fairly low temperature. And generally they tend to be soft. Their bonds are weaker than the ionic bonds. They don't conduct electricity. Never heard of sugar conducting electricity, have you?
No.
Not so much. They generally are insoluble in water. So even though you can put sugar in water, it's still sugar in the water, right? It's not actually breaking apart.
Right.
And then they share. So their orbitals are actually overlapping. And those are our characteristics of covalent bonds. Okay?
Sorry.
Anyone you are.